think you are? Please, shut up!
Stay where you are. We have a warrant to search these premises granted under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Where is he? Don't be silly. Put it down.
Shut up. Get out downstairs. Go on, move. Get back. Get back or I'll blow his head off.
A nursing home, it's not a prison. I don't know what all the fuss is about. A few weeks' rest, it's exactly what you need.
I know what I need. I need to be with you, Steve, that's all.
You will be, darling.
You promise?
Yes, of course. Just don't keep pressuring me. I've got to find the right place, you know that. It's pointless finding something that's no better than this. Why don't you sit down? I can do
I don't need to sit down. I'm perfectly all right. I'm not a cripple.
It might take a while, that's all I'm saying. I mean, it's got to be somewhere on the ground floor. No steps or anything. It does limit the choice a bit.
The doctor said I'd be able to live a perfectly normal life. Well, for ages. So why can't we enjoy ourselves, Steve? Just enjoy ourselves and not think of the future. You do still love me.
Of course I do.
But then that's all that matters. We can manage. There's only the stairs up. I'm sure we could find some way. Rig some kind of hoist.
Ursula, you've got multiple sclerosis. Face facts. It's a progressive disease. It means you'll get gradually weaker and more paralysed until finally you become totally dependent.
Don't! That's not certain.
I thought you were the one that didn't mind talking about it.
Where are you going?
Alice.
You're going to see Mark, aren't you? Which pub is it today? Please! I don't want to go to that nursing home. I'm scared.
That's stupid. You'll like it when you get there. The social worker at the hospital said what a good place it was. There's a full-time doctor, nurses, everything you need.
As if I care about that. I'm scared that you'll stop loving me. That you won't come back.
Don't be ridiculous. It's not even far. I'll visit you every weekend.
Put your arms around me, Steve.
You're going to be sensible.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Well, let's hope you're not called on to stop any more bullets in the course of duty.
There's not much likelihood of that. None at all, in fact.
Thank you. Well, how can you be so sure?
Is that right?
Very good, thank you.
You didn't used to drink whiskey?
Oh, didn't I? It's a long time since we last met, Adam. 25 years?
27 next July. The day you left Father's parish. I was devastated. Well, so was he. He never found such a good curate again.
Well, you were a teenager. I was trying to set a good example. After all, a curate who drinks.
Well, your secret's safe with me.
No, one is sufficient.
Do you still keep a diary? It used to be in those pale green exercise books.
Oh, yes, yes, I still keep them, one for each quarter. It's vanity, I know. I still have my other sins as well. Do you mind?
Oh, not at all. Do you know you lied to me? Well, you told me the diary recorded your spiritual life. I had a look in it one day when you were out.
Oh, so even then you had to ferret out the truth.
We didn't get me very far, then or since. It was a waste of time. It was full of details about Mothers' Union meetings, phone calls to the Archdeacon, trivia. I was very disappointed.
Well, you shouldn't have been. That's the spiritual life. The ordinary things one does from hour to hour.
You said in your letter that you wanted to talk to me about something, if I was well enough.
Yes, well, I'd been misinformed. I thought the only thing wrong with you was a shoulder wound.
Oh, it is?
I don't think so. I came here expecting to find a successful, contented man. You know, I've followed your career with great interest over the years. I've gained much pleasure from your achievements.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't have thought to admire success.
Well, why not? If it comes from a useful job well done. After all, you've worked hard, you've earned it. So what is it? Have you no one to share it with? Come to visit me, Adam. I've got a cottage at Taunton in the grounds. We can talk there as long as you like. Country's beautiful.
Yeah. I've got to go back into hospital soon.
Well, why didn't you say so before? What is it?
I don't know. My shoulder's not healing as quickly as it should, but it's more than that. I've not been feeling on top for some time. No energy, no interest. Anyway, how can I help you?
Well, it's nothing. I feel a bit foolish, you know, but I don't know who else to turn to.
Welcome to Taunton Grange. You're Ursula.
Yes.
I'm Wilfred Anstey.
How do you do? This is my husband, Steve.
Yes, we talked on the phone, Steve. A good conversation. Do come this way.
What about the suitcase?
Oh, Albert will see to it. Dot, why isn't Albert here to deal with the luggage?
I'll find him.
Dot is our matron and housekeeper, and my right-hand man. Or right-hand woman. Well, that doesn't sound quite right either, does it? Come along.
Mr. Anstey.
Wilfred, please.
I didn't realize this was a religious order.
It isn't. Have we worried you? You can relax. The religion isn't compulsory. A brief prayer before meals. It's only that kind of thing.
Then why?
Why do I wear this habit? Well, we all wear them, all of us who work here. Mainly because they are remarkably practical. And of course, my inspiration in founding the home was religious. This is one way of keeping that in mind. But you must have read the information that we sent.
Yes, the leaflet. You had a miracle, that's right, isn't it?
A what?
A miraculous cure. Don't worry. There were no burning bushes or partings of the waves. I think we'd better go inside before your husband has second thoughts about bringing you here. Come along. Good. Yes.
It's like a church. It's lovely.
I'm glad you're not hostile to all things religious.
Oh, I used to be a Catholic.
Only used to be.
Till I showed her the error of her ways.
I'll introduce you to some of the others. Thank you, Albert. You can put the cases in Ursula's room. We'll go this way. Shall I take your coat?
Thank you.
And this is our sitting room. May I introduce Ursula Hollis, who's going to be a great asset to the Grange. Ursula, this is Grace Willison.
How do you do?
Well, you don't have to shake hands with all of us, Ursula. I'm so glad to meet you. I'm sure we'll be friends.
And this is Jenny Pegram. She's the baby of the family.
They spoil me because of my heart, you see. Hello.
Hello.
And this is Henry Carwadine. We won't disturb him if you don't mind. Let him finish his beauty sleep.
I wouldn't advise disturbing him.
No. This is Steve.
Hello.
And if you don't mind, I'll now remove him for a few minutes before we have tea. Just a few forms to fill in, Steve. The sooner I send them off, the sooner we get our money from the DHSS. It's a slow process. Do make yourself at home, Ursula. Yes, they seem to think that non-profit...
Do sit down, Ursula.
I'm all right.
Well, of course you are, but you must be tired after your journey. I expect you miss the bustle of the town, but it's peaceful here.
Too peaceful.
Yes. Well, I like the noise and the crowds. I love the market. We shop there on Saturdays. Everything's fresh. You can get all sorts of cheeses. Our flat's full of junk from the store.
Still, you'll be going back on a visit.
Yes, of course I will. Anyway, I won't be here long.
Nor will I. It's only temporary for me too. I've got a friend I'm going to as soon as he's worked things out.
Oh, I didn't know that, Jenny. I'm so glad for you. What friend is that?
I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I'm sworn to secrecy. It's a very difficult situation, you understand. I know Ursula does.
Well, I hope you'll both be here for Lord's. You won't leave before then. It's the highlight of our year. We go every summer.
I'm not very interested in sport, as a matter of fact.
Would you mind not squawking like a castrated parrot? Who are you? What's all that noise about?
Ursula Hollis. Grace was telling her about Lourdes.
Oh, she tells most people about Lourdes.
Ursula thought she meant the cricket at Lord's.
Oh, I see. No. Lourdes is a place in the south of France. Coachloads of the gullible go there on what they call pilgrimages to dip the ailing parts of themselves in the waters. A most unhealthy pursuit, I've always thought.
You can be cynical, Henry, but you enjoyed last year's trip.
I know, but I go for the wines, not the waters, and the food. Each to his own form of escape.
I do know about Lords. I just misheard you.
Yes, of course you do. Henry's just teasing us, that's all.
Why do you go every year? Mr. Anstey's not a Catholic, is he?
Wilfrid, please. He likes to be called Wilfrid.
Please, Henry.
No, it's important. You see, my dear girl, under the totalitarian system which Wilfrid makes us suffer here, it's a capital offence to display even the slightest sign of formality. I'm surprised we're not forced to call him Wilf.
You're too hard on him.
Better look out, young lady. There's a lot of well-meaning meddlers here, and one poisonous do-gooder.
You're quite right, of course. None of us are Catholics. We can't go to Mass. But even so, it's a wonderful experience. We watch the bishops in the square, the procession by candlelight. It does one good.
And why did you start going? Because of Wilfrid's miracle?
Yes, of course. You see, he had multiple sclerosis. It was quite far advanced. He was in a wheelchair. He went on a pilgrimage to Lourdes. And he took the cure.
And there he made his bargain with the Almighty. You cure me, God, he said, and I'll dedicate the rest of my life to helping other poor invalids. And God fell for it. He made Wilfrid better.
He did, Henry. The evidence is there.
I know. And the joke is that poor Wilfrid is now stuck for life with a bunch of arthritics and heart cases like me and poor old Grace here.
Tea. I'm starving.
For food in a world where many walk with hunger, for light in a world where many walk in darkness, we thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Oh. Before we begin, I have an announcement, a rather painful announcement, I'm afraid. This afternoon, I heard from Mrs. Bonington, Peter's mother. Peter was a young patient here. We were all very fond of him.
Get on with it, Wilfred.
Henry was a particularly close friend. It isn't easy for me to tell you this. The decision to let Peter go from here was a difficult one.
What the hell's happened?
Peter died yesterday. It was nobody's fault. He had pneumonia. It's a shock to us all, of course. We can only hope and believe that he'll no longer be suffering the pain that was his burden for so long. We must console ourselves with the thought, I know I do, that he is happy now and at peace. I'll go and talk to him.
No, I think it might be better if I went, Wilfred.
If you think so. I'm no expert at this kind of thing, I admit.
No, I don't think you are.
You chose a good day to come.
Pour the tea, Dot, please.
Ursula. Jenny? I'll have to go soon. I promised Marg.
You can see him tomorrow, can't you? Stay a bit longer.
Oh, where's my darling husband? Not here for his tea. He'd as soon miss his chance of salvation, Wilfred, as miss his tea.
He's checking the medical supplies that arrived this afternoon.
Because I wasn't here to check them. Another point to Eric. Oh, I'm sorry we're late, Wilfred. It's all Victor's fault. He insisted we stop off for a cup of tea. I said that we held to pay if we were late, but you know how masterful he is when he's roused.
Do shut up, Maggie. It's not true, of course, in case any of you had any doubt.
We hadn't, Victor, don't worry.
Oh, what's this? A new face? Two new faces. Two new people in this dead hole. Don't tell me you're staying and he's going.
I'm sorry, yes, that's right.
No offence, but we're distinctly short of young men around here. As you can imagine, one is always on the lookout. For the sake of the community, Wilfred, you didn't think about anything else, did you?
If you have to drink in the afternoons, Maggie, perhaps you could stay in your room afterwards.
Well, and sleep it off on my own. No, thanks. Wouldn't fancy that.
Ursula, let me show you your room.
He was happy here.
We loved him. We cared for him. Oh, you certainly cared for him. Well, he was so receptive, so enthusiastic to learn about everything. But he was only enthusiastic because you were a good teacher, Henry. He much preferred your English and history to my Latin. I understood him. I like to think he understood me. It was almost as if he was my own child. That's how I felt sometimes. You know? Don't really believe that his mother suggested his leaving here. As if she cared where he was. In 6 months here, she only visited him twice. She never telephoned him or wrote to him, and he's an embarrassment to her. She was thinking of getting married again. She just wanted to forget he ever existed. Oh, I just see how Wilfred put pressure on her, stirring up her guilt about the boy. It's the sort of thing he does brilliantly. Why would he do that? Because he thought I was getting too close to Peter. That's what it was, wasn't it? He thought I loved the boy. Well, I did. Not in the way he meant. Well, I'm sure he was only trying to do what he believed was best. Ah, you're as bad as he is. Sometimes I think that religion causes softening of the brain. That sanctimonious hypocrite murdered Peter.
How much have we had from the League of Friends?
Friends, £481.
481. Over 3 months?
Over 6.
It's not enough. It's ludicrous. How can we hope to keep going? We shall have to put a strong plea in the next newsletter.
You put a plea in the last one. It might be more useful if you found some more patients.
Just tell me how. Goodness knows I've tried. Our fees just aren't competitive. Oh, I'm tired.
I can't go on fighting indefinitely. I might have to let the Grange go. I really might.
It's Maggie who's upset you again.
Unfortunately, Maggie is the price we pay for Eric, and he's a good doctor.
Is he?
Well, I wouldn't get anyone else for the money I pay Eric.
Oh, you're not going to do any more. You'll work yourself to death. Have a break, for goodness sake.
I had intended to go out this evening, do some climbing.
Then go. You should think about your health for a change. You can't afford to crack up. Your work's far too important.
That looks nice and clean, Albert.
I'm starting to hate it.
Well, that makes two of us.
You? You don't hate your work, you just hate failing.
So you think I failed too?
Oh, don't be clever. You know what I mean. All right, so the job wasn't a total success. You got shot in the shoulder.
It was a failure. We caught the pushers, but the suppliers got clean away.
That's better than nothing.
At the end of the day, what have we achieved? Put a few villains inside and a few dozen more take their place. Where's the point in that?
Everything I say is wrong.
I am sorry, Harriet.
Don't deny it, will you? You might compromise that precious integrity of yours. And I'd hate you to do that on my account.
Please. Where are you going?
I've tried to be understanding. Obviously, I'm not very good at it. There's still this great gap between us, and it's getting bigger.
Well, I've tried to tell you about the job, but it's difficult.
You don't want me to get near you. You don't want anyone near you. Not anymore.
Am I going to be ticked off? Is that what I'm here for? A reprimand from the headmaster?
Someone played a joke on me yesterday, Maggie. At least I assume it was a joke. I wondered if you knew anything about it.
Why me?
Well, you are renowned for your sense of humour.
Oh, you mean whatever it was, you didn't find it funny?
You don't know?
No, what?
I was climbing yesterday. I discovered that someone had weakened my rope by fraying it. Not completely, but, well, it was bad enough.
But you're not saying that I tried to kill you.
No. No, I'm not. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to understand. You're not a bad woman, I know that. I know you've been under pressure. I'm just asking you to be honest with me, and then we can forget the whole thing.
I did not try to kill you. And I'm not under pressure, not more than most people.
Your relationship with Victor?
Wilfred, I resent this conversation. I loathe the way that you poke and pry into our lives. I thought you would have learned something from Peter's death.
Life is nowhere near as simple as you like to make out, Maggie. I have a responsibility for everyone here.
Oh, Wilfred. Do we always have to argue?
Believe me, it is the last thing I want.
Should we call a truce, then?
Yes. You don't know how much it pleases me to hear you say that.
Good. Can I go, then? Am I dismissed?
There is something else.
Yes.
I hear you're thinking of going to London with Victor.
And Eric, not just on our own.
Even so.
We're taking him to hospital, not for an illicit weekend.
I'd rather you didn't go if you don't mind.
I used to work in that hospital.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Victor asked me to go. He's going to get the results of his tests, and he wants me there to reassure him.
Helen Rayner's senior nurse here. If anyone goes along, it should be her.
Look, Wilfred, Victor hopes that they might tell him that he's going to be able to walk again, and they might. But if they don't, he's going to need all the loving care that he can get. Now, forgive my arrogance, but I think I'm better able to provide that than Helen. She hardly knows him.
I'm not at all sure that he needs your kind of loving care.
Oh, what do you know about it, Wilfred? We all know you're full of love for mankind. That's easy. Anyone can do that. But when it comes down to the one-to-one, that's when the problems start. But you wouldn't know the first thing about that, would you?
God, how I hate hospitals.
What? You're a bloody doctor. You know business-hating hospitals. Well, how many more miles of corridor do we have to go down?
Nearly there. It's left at the end.
That's right, I think.
Oh, you give me so much confidence, both of you. Well, which way should we go? Or shall we toss for it?
No, it is right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did do my SRN here. It's engraved on my soul.
I was seeing the specialist again. Not some overworked and underpaid stand-in.
No, you're getting God himself, Victor. Mr. Sperling. Nothing but the best for you.
You would tell me if he said anything. In his letter, I mean.
Well, of course I would tell you.
Well, then why do we all have to come tripping back here? Or don't they trust you to get the message right?
Well, I am just a commoner garden quack.
You're a very good quack.
I'm getting nervous. I'm beginning to wish I hadn't come here. When you get this close, you'd almost rather not know.
The specialist was very hopeful last time.
What was he going to say to me? No football for a couple of weeks, but apart from that, carry on as normal.
Now, he'll probably show you the results of the X-ray and the myelogram so you can see for yourself. If the blockage is still too large, then he won't be able to operate. But if it isn't, well, there's a hope.
That's a commoner garden quack speaking for you.
Eric's too modest. He knows quite a lot about orthopedics.
I've still got some feeling in my foot, you know.
Good.
Mr. Holroyd? Oh, Mr. Sperling's ready to see you now.
You stay here, Eric. We'll have some privacy, haven't I?
Very good with him.
The secret is not to take him too seriously. Not jealous, are you?
Of you and Victor? Hardly. Oh, I find it depressing coming here.
Don't think about it. Look, on the bright side, you're back on the medical register and you've got a job, thanks to Wilfred. I'm grateful to him for that.
Not quite what I'd planned for myself. Stuck in the middle of nowhere in a nursing home.
Well, you shouldn't have slept with the customer, sweetheart.
I'm sorry.
That's a fair comment. Painful, but fair. But I can't help a twinge of regret stuck here in the great God's waiting room. I might just have been inside there myself if things had gone my way. We'd have got on better.
No, we haven't done too badly as it is.
It's funny. You can be such a comfort.
You don't mean it.
And sometimes you are. Makes me wonder why the rest of the time I feel like murdering you.
Have you ever made love in another doctor's waiting room?
God's sake, Maggie. It's all my career needs.
Ah, you're boring. Anyway, there wouldn't be time. I'm going to have a look around.
Why?
Why not? See if the old place has changed. Don't mind, do you?
What are you doing back here?
I was just passing. I thought I'd see if the old place had changed. Evidently not.
Oh, not till we're computerized. It's a constant threat.
Listen, could you do me a huge favour?
I see. I should have known.
Ah, no. It's just that I've run out of fags and the machine upstairs is empty. Could you ever go to the staff canteen and get me a packet? Oh, don't worry. I'll man the desk. I'll make sure no one runs off with the Prince of Wales appendix file.
For you.
All right. Oh, you're marvellous. You're a little sweetheart.
I know.
Anything will do, so long as it's strong.
Okay.
Stupid accident, that's all. Why should anyone want to kill me? But you said the rope had been frayed somehow. What did Maggie say? Oh, the usual. What do you expect? That I'm thick-skinned and misguided and harm everyone I come in contact with. I know you agree, don't you, Michael? You think I'm a fool, that I don't know how to handle people. But believe me, I only do what I think is best. I've given my life to this place. My whole life. And to see it crumbling like this with no money, no enthusiasm. I don't know what to do, Michael. Of course you do. I am not going to the police. Look, if someone tried to kill you, they may try again. No one here hates me enough to want to kill me. Let me tell the police about the rope. No. I will not have the Grange dragged through the mud. No, I'm going to deal with this person on my own, Michael.
Where have you been?
I bumped into an old friend.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a complete waste of time coming here.
Well, what did the specialist say?
The myelogram shows there's still a considerable blockage at the base of the spine. According to the X-ray, the spine is severely compressed. So the original diagnosis is correct. There'd be no point in an operation at the moment.
He said I'd imagine the movement in my foot. It's all in the mind, apparently. It seems that I'm balmy now, as well as being disabled. How's that for progress?
Why don't you come and help me in the office, Ursula? There's so much work to do on the newsletter.
Well, if you wanted someone just to correct spelling mistakes, I spent years doing that as a teacher.
Well, that'll be fine for now. Can you type?
Do I hear Grace the therapist at work? Beware of occupational therapy, my dear.
No such thing. How are you feeling, Henry? You look a little better.
Do I? It just shows how deceptive appearances can be. Misery and pain can't be cancelled out with basket reading and typing.
Take no notice of him, Ursula. Somebody's got to do the typing. Henry, have you heard what happened to Wilfred?
No, don't tell me he's gone climbing again with the same rope. That would be good news.
That's not funny.
I wasn't aware I was laughing.
He might have been killed. How on earth could something like that have happened?
It was an accident, surely.
Well, yes, of course it must have been, but the odd thing is I saw the rope myself on Tuesday evening. It was in Henry's workroom.
Well, there's nothing particularly odd about that. He will clutter up the place with his climbing impedimenta.
I picked it up and put it on the hook.
And was it frayed then?
No, I'm sure it wasn't. I'd have noticed. And then Henry came in. Do you remember Henry, just as I was going out? You were going to do some sculpting, you said.
Yes, Grace, I do remember. Thank you. You see, even I resort to occupational therapy. On occasion.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm trying to put you to bed. Or you'll be exhausted and bad-tempered in the morning.
I'm never exhausted.
Oh, and you're never bad-tempered either.
Ah, you know me better than that.
Well, you're going to bed, whether you like it or not.
If you want to make me tired, it won't take long, I promise you that. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's play doctors and nurses.
I thought so. You've got a fever.
Oh, it's the excitement of being on my own with you again without that boring husband of yours.
The trouble with you is you're all talk.
Oh, don't you believe it?
So I was wrong. You've got stamina, I'll give you that. Long, hard day, bad news, and you're still perky.
Bloody doctors, what do they know? They want you to give up so they won't have to be bothered with you, but to hell with that. I'm not giving up. And I'm going to keep on at them till they're forced to find me a bloody cure.
That's it. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
And then we can go away together, you and I.
Sounds lovely.
What sort of honeymoon do you fancy? Skiing? Surfing?
What about up Everest with a couple of Sherpas?
Or do you fancy something a bit more athletic?
Try and get some sleep. I'll bring you something for the fever.
We'll have a marvellous time. You'll be all right. I'll always look after you, Maggie.
Why, what's going to happen?
I'm older than you. I'll die sooner.
Oh, don't.
Oh, listen. Listen. I want to tell you what I've done.
Lights gone again, have they? Oh, it looks lovely. What have I done to deserve it?
You've been especially nice to me all day. It's enough, isn't it?
Come on, what is it?
You won't tell anyone.
Tell them what?
Promise me.
All right, I promise.
Victor's going to leave me his money. He's got parts of it stashed away and he's going to leave it all to me. Well, most of it.
Why?
I don't know. Because I'm nice to him, I suppose.
Well, I'm nice to him, too.
Ah, well, you're his doctor. You're paid to be nice to him. Anyway, that's what he's done. Isn't it marvellous?
Yes, if you can believe him.
Oh, he's already spoken to his solicitor.
Has he?
It means that one day we're going to be able to get out of this awful place. We can start again.
If we're not too old by then. No, you're right. It's marvellous.
I'd love to see Wilfred's face when he doesn't get the money.
Well, I won't hear a word spoken against him.
Do you know, you should wear your suit more often. I think perhaps you're improving with age. Come to bed.
Well, not on an empty stomach.
Ah, don't be boring. You'll be much hungrier afterwards. Come on.
But I feel rather tired.
I thought I was meant to say that.
I'm sorry. It's all that driving to London and back today. I could do with a breath of fresh air.
What now?
Yes, it's been a terrible day. A brisk walk might just do me good. Well, dinner will keep for half an hour, won't it?
Oh, don't worry about dinner. If I were you, dinner's the last thing I'd worry about. How the hell you got struck off for seducing anyone, I'll never know. But did she complain because you didn't make a better job of it? Was that the real reason?
I know I shouldn't have come so soon. They weren't at all keen to let me see you.
I'm delighted you did so.
I'm off to New York in the morning. I wanted a quick word before I left. Well, how are you?
Well, at least they're not going to die.
There was no likelihood of that, surely.
A few pills, they'll be right as rain.
And how's your shoulder?
Oh, it'll get better.
Splendid. So when will you be back? The Commissioner's anxious to know. I'm afraid my visit isn't entirely social.
Well, I can't say when, or even if I'll be back.
You can't mean that. You're obviously depressed, old chap. Post-operative depression, isn't that what they call it?
Now, when you've had it for the last 6 months, As a matter of fact, I drafted a letter of resignation this morning.
You didn't send it?
Oh.
Thank heavens for that. How could you even think of it?
Oh, it's too complicated to explain. I just feel tired.
Yes, of course. You're going to take a week or two off, I hope?
Yes, I am. I'm going to stay with an old friend.
Good.
And while I'm there, I shall write the resignation letter.
Adam, that's absurd.
When you can't see any point to the job anymore, that's the time to leave.
Victor, my dear friend.
Morning, Wilfred.
Morning. I had hoped to see you before now. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry.
About what?
I prayed that you would have better news.
Oh, did you? That explains why it went wrong.
Here, let me. I'm glad you're so cheerful.
Why not? These things are sent to try us, isn't that what you'd say?
Yes, but some of us find it harder to be positive about such things.
Wish I had your wisdom, Wilfred. Where'd you get it? Christmas crackers?
I was merely saying to Victor that to be positive...
Oh, the silver lining.
At least we shall have the continued pleasure of Victor's company.
You don't bank on it. I'll be leaving as soon as I damn well can.
Good for you.
I shouldn't decide anything in a hurry. Not while you're clearly so upset.
Oh, and just as clearly you'll be losing a hefty fee from the DHSS for having me here. Plus, of course, the money that you hoped I'd leave you.
I'm going to pretend that we have never had this conversation.
Well, you can pretend what you like. But I'm here to tell you I've made up my mind and I'm leaving.
Yes, well, we'll talk about it in a day or so.
Fine by me, old cock. Oh, there is just one other thing.
Not now, please, Victor, if you don't mind.
It's my going away present to everyone at the Grange. Something really devastating. No. No, on second thoughts, you can wait for it. Till one of those cosy little evenings where we're all sitting around, bored out of our skulls and wishing to God we had a television set. What are you looking so cheerful about? It'll blow the lot of you to kingdom come.
I despair of this office sometimes. I seem to spend my whole life tidying it, and it's always in total chaos.
Oh, I hope Grace isn't wearing you out.
Ursula's typing the proofs of the newsletter.
You're very slow, I'm afraid.
Oh, you're not at all. You're 10 times as accurate as I am.
I wondered if you had any letters, Grace. I should be passing the pillar box.
I seem to have lost the stamps. You going to the tower?
Yes.
The tower? Which tower?
Oh, the Black Tower. I go there most afternoons for a little peace and quiet.
For prayer and meditation.
Is it part of the Grange?
It's on Toynton land, yes. It's an interesting building with rather a macabre history. I'll show it to you one day.
I'd like that, thank you.
The list of friends.
Thanks.
It's disgusting. Absolute filth.
Well, why are you laughing?
Well, how do they know about you and me?
Well, for guests, so why shouldn't someone else? Not that there's much to guess.
It's exactly what makes it so funny.
Who do you think sent it?
Now, don't look at me.
Hello, young lover.
How about Henry? I'd lay even money on Henry.
I wouldn't dream of sending you such a thing. It's totally illiterate.
Nobody asked if you'd sent it, Henry.
Well, I didn't think that Maggie showed it to me purely for my judgment on its literary worth. Or am I wrong?
Victor thought you might have sent it.
I didn't say that. Well, not exactly. To be exact, what I said was...
Oh, for God's sake, Victor. This isn't a joke, it's about you and me. It's horrible.
But as you pointed out, Maggie, there's really not much to say about you and me. So why shouldn't we have a good laugh about it?
You mean this letter is nothing but a work of mildly pornographic fiction? Oh, how disappointing. I could have sworn it was autobiographical. Certainly has your coarse style, Victor.
Did you send it, Victor?
Of course I didn't, you stupid bloody woman.
Don't you talk to me like that.
Was this a lover's tiff? How fascinating. Do you mind if I sit and listen?
You take him home, Henry. Go on, you do it. I've had enough.
Maggie!
Maggie, come back!
Maggie, come here! Come on and push me!
How can I possibly...
You're not as feeble as all that.
I can't! You'll have to manage.
You can't leave me here alone. Maggie? Where the hell are you? Maggie! Maggie! Maggie!